The time is winter. The place, any wooded wilderness area of the northern United States, Canada, or Alaska, where the snows come early, lie deep, and linger late. The chief actor is one of the smaller and shyer of the wild things that lives here. Winter is a time of great beauty, but its cold and snows bring suffering and hunger. Most of the birds here have flown to the south. Now, even the last of the wild ducks must move on to seek open water and new feeding places. Some of the animals now slumber in snug dens underground until warm weather comes. The quill-studded porcupine will free. Deer must struggle through snows that grow deeper for food that gets scarcer. Before spring arrives, all will be hungry, and many will starve. And even the fleet-footed fox must now travel at a slower pace. But here are the tracks of one of Mother Nature's children that finds these conditions entirely to his liking. This one is admirably adapted to his way of life and superbly suited to live in the deep snow country. Every thicket is a place of refuge that shelters him from storms, conceals him from enemies, and furnishes him with an abundant food supply. Nature has given him a warm and woolly overcoat of white to match the winter's landscape. She puts snowshoes on his great hind feet, and on these he travels over snow with the greatest of ease. In times of danger, they take him to some place of safety. But when danger is past, he ventures out again, and wherever he goes, he leaves behind his footprints in the snow. It is true that nature gave him an overcoat of white to match the winter's landscape. She put white fur mittens on his front feet and snowshoes on his huge hind feet. But the hare must take care of that equipment. The fur must be sleek and dry at all times, or he will freeze. He must take care of those snowshoes, too. Each drop of water he must lick off before it freezes. Every ball of ice he must remove, because those balls of ice would slow him down. And if he loses just one race, he will never get a chance to run another. Just how good his protective color is, you can see for yourself when the scene changes. Now watch carefully. Can you see him? Now can you see him? But in case he is discovered, that white coat is no protection. Now his only defense is swift escape. Now his one chance to keep on living is to make for the shelter of some dense thicket. If he gets to the thicket in time, he lives. If not, the enemy eats. That time he made it, but the owl is a persistent enemy, and tomorrow night he may try again, later again and again. And the owl is only one of the hungry hunters that pursue him. There are lynx, bobcats, mountain lions, foxes, coyotes, and wolf packs, martens, fishers, mink, and weasels. All these and many others prey upon the snowshoe hare. At every moment of the day or night, at any season of the year, he must be on constant guard against surprise attack by hungry enemies. Not only does he change his coat when winter comes, but his entire manner of living. Now, instead of feeding on leaves and grasses, he must browse on evergreens, bark, and buds. Should the snow go too quickly, his white coat can be a distinct disadvantage, for then it is easier for enemies to pick him out and pick him up. So nature changes him from white to brown again, while the snow still lies deep in the woods. Early spring finds him lean and hungry. Eagerly he hunts for food that has been uncovered by the melting of the snow. But another urge also stirs within him and impels him from the shelter of the thicket. Early spring is the beginning of the mating season. When rival males meet, they wage fierce battles. They slash with sharp teeth and kick and claw with great hind feet until one is either killed or runs away. Towards the female, he is more gentle. He will even let her share his food and not attempt to drive her from it. Here we see two that are feeding on the remains of an apple that has been uncovered by the melting of the snow. When the leaves are out and the grass is up, the hare loses his lean and hungry look. He also sheds the last of his ragged winter overcoat. The male is sleek and well-fed and leads a rather carefree existence. But for the female, this is a time of great responsibility. Now her first litter of young of the season is born. She hides them in the seclusion of some dense thicket, And should a small animal come too close, she attacks it with a ferocity you would never expect. She can bite like a muskrat and kick like a mule. Few animals her size dare to stand against her. These baby snowshoe hares are not born blind and helpless like the young of cottontails and other rabbits. They are born fully furred, their eyes are open, and they can walk the day they are born. These little ones are less than 2 days old. By the end of 5 days, they are able to make short excursions out from the nest and feed on tender leaves and grasses. At the end of a week, they are fully able to take care of themselves, and after a few short weeks, are fully grown. Here is a little one in the foreground and the mother in the background. Now watch what happens when another female comes too close. Even the male is not welcome in the vicinity of the thicket where the young are hidden. But against a huge creature like this, she is powerless to defend them. That bear would devour them in seconds if he found them. Danger and sudden death follow his footsteps from the time he is born to the end of his days. Now, he had better run far and fast when the fox is on his trail, for the keen nose of the fox can follow his scent as well as the best trained beagle hound. But that is a wise rabbit. It takes to the water, and the fox loses his trail at the water's edge. It seemed to know that the red fox does not like to get its feet wet. So it hides itself among the cattails and waits until the fox goes on his way. Rabbits can swim like muskrats when they have to, but they have a cat's dislike of staying wet. So this one comes out on a rock to dry itself. Shakes the drops of water from its paws. Takes a long look around to see if the fox is coming back, or another enemy is trying to slip up on it from behind. The fox is gone. There is no other enemy in sight. So it shakes its paws again, washes its face, brushes out its whiskers, and when fully satisfied with its appearance, it goes about the serious business of getting something to eat. It is true that he is surrounded by hungry enemies, but Mother Nature has given him keen senses to warn him of their approach, cleverness to elude them, speed to outrun them, and she made him small enough to go places where they cannot follow. She even equipped him with sensitive nerves in his feet that can detect the footsteps of a stealthy stalker approaching from behind. She has given him the ability to live on a great variety of low-grade foods, and he will thrive in places where even deer will starve. She has fitted him well for the rough and rugged country where he makes his home. As the crisp days of autumn come, he begins to change his coat to match the changing season. Stiff white hairs grow out between his toes and on the bottoms of his feet. First, his feet turn white, then his legs, and then the underparts of his body. As days grow short and nights get longer and colder, winter begins to move down from the north. The snowshoe hare rapidly changes his summer coat of brown for a warm white overcoat of fur. Now he is no longer brown, but spotted, brown on his back and white on his underparts. As the brown hairs fall out, they are replaced by white. And for a time, he is a rich golden color. Now we can get our first good look at his great hind feet and can see why we call him the rabbit that runs on snowshoes. These are even more remarkable when seen from the underside. When the deep snows come, he is changed to his coat of white. When blizzards rage and fierce winds howl, he digs into a snowbank and lets the wind and snow blow over his back. In times of danger, he goes bounding over the tops of snowdrifts while heavier-bodied enemies sink in and fall behind.